The next thing I want to take a look at is how we can work on color and tone. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit on this image. And as we do so, one of the things I notice is that the forehead is a bit too bright up here. So I'm going to darken that up. I'll do so with curves. Here I'll click into my curves adjustment layer, use the target adjustment tool, and simply click and drag down. I want to darken up this tonal range, these tones here in the top of the image. Now, if I don't want to color shift, what I'll do is I'll change the blending mode of this layer to luminosity. So sometimes you'll need to do that. So you're just getting the darkening tone. Other times, what you'll need is a little bit of that color in there in order to match things up. Well, either way, once we've made these little micro adjustments here, I'm just going to use 1 point, just darkening that up just a touch there. We can go ahead and invert this. Press Command-I. Next, grab your brush tool. You're going to paint with white, with a low opacity, and all that we're going to do is just mask in this little bit of a darkening effect in this portion of the image. We're just looking to try to equalize the tonal variation that we're seeing out a little bit. And the great thing about this is because this is on a separate layer, what we can do is if we're not really hitting it, if we're not darkening that up enough, here's before and after, we can always go in and do so more. Or if we have too harsh of brush strokes, we'll press the X key and you can kind of paint away where you don't want it. Or go into your mask panel, increase the feather amount. Or if the color isn't matching, well, go back to the curve, go into the different channels, say the red channel, add a little bit more, perhaps red into it, or a little bit more yellow just to get it to match the other skin tone that we have. So what it is it's burning down detail, but doing so with incredible precision. Well, now that we've done that, I think that looks kind of nice. What I would like to do next is to add a little bit more dimension or maybe drama to the image, just subtly with some darkening of the cheeks, brightening the chin. Let's do that. Here we'll create a new layer. Blend mode goes to soft light. And what we'll do is we're going to paint with a pretty low opacity. We can try white, for example, on the chin. I'll press 1 on the keyboard, go to 10%. I'm just going to start to paint in a little bit of brightening effect there on the chin, also a little bit on the nose. And right down the middle of the nose as well. I'm going to try to brighten that up too. Just adding a little bit more of a narrow ridge line on the nose there. Hit the X key to paint with black, and then you can go ahead and paint down some of the areas where you want to darken it up. And what I'm trying to do here is just thin the nose out a little bit. So I'm painting with black or with white. Here, just darkening up this area. Cheekbones, paint with black there. Just darken those up a little bit. Adding a little bit more, like I said, maybe drama or just accentuate the features a little bit. Also do a little bit on the edge of the lips. Here again, just incremental little adjustments to add to the overall look of this image. I'm painting with black or white in a few different areas. You can see I'm just darkening the cheeks there a touch. And then I'm also worked on the nose a little bit. And I think that looks pretty nice. A little bit more white down there on the chin. Next, I need to go to my filter pull down menu, choose blur and Gaussian blur. Now I don't want to blur this too high, but what I do want to do is just soften my brush strokes so they're not quite so noticeable. So I'm going to bring this up. Look at my preview there. It should be a pretty subtle little adjustment. Looks like 4, 5, or 6 points in regards to the radius. Click OK. And here we have it, before and then after. Again, just adding a little bit more there. And it looks like this is a touch too strong, so we'll just back that off a little bit. But I think that's pretty good there, just adding a little bit more of that look in that particular area of the image. Okay, well, let's zoom out. What do we need to do next? All right, well, the photograph now is at a pretty good place. We have a few more things that we need to do to this image, so let's continue to work on it in the next movie.